Hello darling ones, and welcome to another Galactic Mayan astrology report. So this is a report for the 23rd of January 2021. We're moving into a new 13-day process, and the 13-day process that we're moving into is in the energy of yellow sun. So yellow sun is the final of the 20 archetypes if you were to look at the Mayan calendar, which is like a grid. And what that means is that it embodies a little bit of everything, and that's really the medicine of yellow sun. So it's a yellow sign, which means that it's about the flowering, the blossoming. So as you know, we cycle through and through many different cycles within Mayan astrology. Maybe you didn't know that, maybe you're tuning in for the first time, but there you go, there's a truth bomb. So within the Mayan astrology, we've got 20 signs that are back to back, and they cycle through red, white, blue, yellow, red, white, blue, yellow, red, white, blue, yellow. So the yellow is it's like the accumulation and the medicine that comes through our process. It's like what's left, what comes out, what blossoms from our experience. So it's like the big reveal, whereas like the blue signs are about the transformation. Whereas the yellow signs are like, oh, and that's not to say that it's always a walk in the park, because, you know, sometimes being seen and revealing can be a challenging process, and that segues quite nicely into, you know, the archetype of yellow sun is really about the integration of all parts of us. It's about basically a journey with judgment and a journey with shame, and how oftentimes shame and judgment can rob us of our medicine, can rob us of our ability to blossom, our ability to level up. Now, there's an aspect of this which is about being able to receive ourselves primarily. So within this 13-day process, there's probably going to be an experience of having to really look at ourselves and to really reclaim the parts of us that we have been denying. Now, it might be that there are certain needs within us that we've been denying because we don't feel safe to ask for, you know, the world to meet those needs. It also may be that there are parts of us that we've shamed so far away and dissociated so far away from that, you know, they then come through toxic behaviour because we've totally separated from that part of us, you know, that has a specific need or whatever. It may be that there are like gifts and talents that we struggle to embody and to reveal to the world because we're scared of XYZ. So within each one of us, you know, we are vast oceans of being. You know, each one of us has got so many different aspects of self held within. And we learned through life that there are parts of us that are welcome within relationship and within the world and the way that we show up. And there are parts of us that are not welcome and they're not allowed, and, you know, we shame them and then we judge them. And this happens within our relationships, and this happens within ourselves. So really the big medicine within the yellow sun is this ability to find ourselves and love ourselves and hold ourselves and permit ourselves. The biggest word that's kind of coming through is permission, the medicine of permission. So what would it look like if you stopped trying to be? What would it look like? What would you look like if you just allowed yourself to be? You know, this like, I'm going to present those parts of me because I want to receive love, but that isn't all of me. So then when the whole of me wants to come out, that love is not there, you know? So how do we create the space within ourselves to allow, to begin with within our relationship with ourselves, to allow the wholeness of who we are to come out? How do we love the parts of us that we've shamed? And I don't have the answer for that. You know, this is just the inquiry. How do we love the parts of us that have been shamed? How do we forgive ourselves and the other? How do we How do we hold boundaries? How do we have standards? How do we say no whilst also remaining in acceptance? You know, this is another really, really big thing, you know, within my personal experience right now. It's like how to navigate the saying no whilst also saying no with love. You know, my saying no in the past, because I always had a really massive challenge with it for various reasons, you know, so oftentimes my no would have to come so fierily and so, no, bam, wall up, bye, because it was the only way that I could do the no, you know. And now I'm landing in a different place of being able to just no, love you, honour you, no. And just that different quality. And I guess for me there's a big journey within that of being able to trust my no and trust myself. So within this process, you know, there's so many different facets to Yellow Sun, because it is, you know, the final of the signs, as I say. So within this Yellow Sun energy, there's also like this, you know, enlightenment, universal enlightenment piece. And, you know, this idea of enlightenment has historically meant, you know, you sit on the top of the mountain and you are unfazed by anything, and you don't react to anything, and you're free, and you're just in universal consciousness. And actually my perspective, and the perspective that comes through my channel, is that, you know, the enlightenment is being the full embodied human being. It's the fire, it's the feminine, it's the I'm gonna fucking protect, and I'm gonna speak up, and I'm gonna claim, as well as I'm gonna love, and I'm gonna honour, and I'm gonna hold. You know, this, like, it's all of it, it's all of it, it's all of it. And that means being in the world, and that means saying no, you know, because the no is just as loving as the yes in different contexts, you know. So within this 13-day process, we are really invited to begin to feel into the parts of us that we've denied. You know, what desires, what qualities, what aspects have we denied ourselves, and why, you know, and how to strip the shame. What is your process for dissolving shame? You know, I really feel that the big cleanup on the planet is about the clearing, the transmuting of shame. And the reason that we fragment, the reason that we have these parts of us that we're willing to reveal to the world, and other parts of us that we're wanting to hide from the world, and the way that we show up into situations not in full integrity and not allowing our full selves to be perceived, is because of shame. Because we were taught, like, that's not okay, that is okay, more of that, less of that. And we were literally conditioned through reward and punishment to, in the same way that we do with, you know, domesticated animals. It's the same pattern, it's the same energy. But what that does, like if you look at dogs, for example, we've stripped them of their wild nature, we've stripped them of their true nature. You know, they're now this strange, conditioned, you know, object that we kind of use. And I know that there's a lot of love and there's a beautiful connection, but there's a domestication, is that the right word? But there's a stripping of the wildness, and we've done that to ourselves as well. We've done that to one another, we've done that to humanity. And the wildness also comes with this balance, you know, in our right relationship with the earth. When we're wilder, you know, we feel everything. We're able to connect and feel at home with the planet, and therefore step forward in a way that is honouring of her. There's also, like, just so many aspects to this wild nature of being in our true cycle and in our true nature. But because we've all been through this domestication that's come through this shame, we then hold ourselves in. So within this process, the thing is really about permission. So how do we permit ourselves to be who we really are, even in the middle of process, even when we're responding from a place that doesn't feel loved and therefore comes across as XYZ, even when, how do we do that? How do we soften into opening to the other and saying, whatever we need to say that is our truth for that moment. How do we receive the other for them to be in their truth at that moment? And then what do we do with it? You know, within the context of relationship, you know, we can love and accept one another, but we also then get to choose if we continue to journey together. And it might be, you know, that it's mission complete for certain relationships when we allow our full selves to be seen and claimed. And that's okay, because, you know, the place for me personally, and the place that I feel that we're all really wanting to get to, is a place of permission, but that really starts within. So within this 13-day process, the things to muse upon really and to witness within your life are, you know, where do you abandon yourself? Where do you hide from yourself? Where do you deny yourself? You know, what aspects of yourself are you scared to reveal to the world for fear of rejection? What aspects of yourself are trying to manage being seen, you know, or being revealed? To really just come into that place of like, wow, okay, so if I was to really discover and embrace the whole of myself, what does that look like? Who am I really? You know, who am I in my, you know, squeaky clean, acceptable expression, and in my murky, challenged, painful expression? Who am I in all of it? Can I really take a moment to see myself? Because when we allow ourselves to really see ourselves, to see our whole selves, then we can actually begin to love. Then we can actually begin to integrate this unconditional love. If we are running this, that part of me is in a box and I'm denying that, we're not actually in love. You know, we're not loving ourselves. How can we love ourselves when we're denying parts of ourselves? So that thing of, right, I'm ready and willing and able and open to really perceiving all of myself, the parts of me that, you know, are not in right relationship as well. And then from there, then the blanket of love and acceptance comes in. Then the underworld journey of, wow, I can understand why that behaviour is a part of me. I can understand why I do that, because it's all a cry for love. And now I'm able, because I've seen it, because I've allowed it, because I've accepted it, now I'm able to offer that love. Now I'm able to go to those parts of me in deep honour and reverence and unconditional love and bring them home. And bring them home. And then when we are able to do that journey personally, individually, in our own process, then we can extend that to the other. Then we can extend that into relationship. But when we are not doing that, when we're not meeting ourselves fully, how can we do that with another? So this 13-day process is about integration. It's about coming home. It's about allowing yourself to be seen. It's about the uncovering of the parts of us that we've denied, because that all leads us to enlightenment. That all leads us to universal power, because we are all open, we're on. You know, like, yeah, I've got that story running, but I've also got all of this other stuff that's already awake and aware, and I can hold it all and I can be it all. And when I can be it all, I can love it all, and I can allow myself to be in process, because the human evolution journey is always going to be in process. But there is a greater ability to choose how we step forward, what we decide, what we want in our lives, and manifest. You know, align with the timeline that we're wanting to align with, when we're allowing all of our power to be claimed. So I hope that you have a wonderful 13-day process, and your Wavespell is beautiful, and yeah, such deep honour for being on the planet at this time, and thank you for tuning in as always, and I send you so much love.